Shabbat Shalom. Once again, the Most High's witnesses has assembled on this Sabbath day. So we, as always, we bless him before we pray by saying Baruch et Yahweh. Baruch et Yahweh hamevarach. Baruch atah Yahweh hamevarach le'elam vayed. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Asher bikar banu makol hamayim v'natan lanu ha'torah. Baruch atah Yahweh notan ha'torah. That is to say, blessed be Yahweh. Blessed be Yahweh, the blessed one. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the blessed one for all eternity. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who selected us from all the peoples and gave us your Torah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, giver of the Torah, to the Elohim of Avraham, Yitzhak, and Israel, our King, our provider, our healer, our sustainer, our Savior, our rock, El Shaddai, El Nisi, El Elyon, El Rapha. Master, do we call upon you with bowed head and humble hearts, asking you, Master, begging you, O King, in this exile to forgive us of our sins. Cleanse us of unrighteousness, Master, that our prayers be not hindered this morning. We bow before you, Master, and ask that you would hear our cries and turn not a deaf ear to our supplications, Master, but let the words of our mouths and meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, and let them come before you and pierce your ears. And when you think upon us as an assembly here at First Tabernacle Fellowship, O King, that it would bring joy to thy heart, that we are Israel, and you said that your eyes are always upon us, and that Israel is the apple of thine eye. And Master, that's what we strive to be, O King. And we ask that you would continue to have mercies upon us, that you have provided for us daily, and especially this day that you have set apart. And Master, you provided us life, health, and strength, that we was able to get up and come out today. And we thank you for taking us out of idolatry, O King, and showing us your truth, Master, and that you are growing more and more in us, O King, and that our lives and the way that we conduct ourselves will be pleasing unto you. Continue to teach us, Master, and guide us, that we may live according to the way, that we may live according to your rules and your instructions, O King. Forgive us for the ones that we are not able to keep, Master, because we are in exile, because we do not have a priesthood, neither do we have a Kohen. We thank you, Master, for the leadership of this house that you have given us, Master, to teach us, to guide us the way. We ask that you will continue to keep them and their families, and that you may strengthen them in their resolve, and that you may show them, Master, that they may teach us, that we may continue to live according to the ways that you have set forth, according to thy mishpatims and thy kukims, Master. And we thank you. We thank you, O King, for keeping our children as they have traversed throughout this land all week long, and you have brought them home safely each night. We thank you for the health that you have given us, life, health, and strength, food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We thank you, Master, for each that are in this house, and we ask that you would continue to bind this family with cords of love that cannot be broken. We ask that you would build us up where we're torn down and strengthen us where we're weak, O King. Master, we just ask that you would continue to give us the knowledge that we would need, that we would be pleasing in thy sight. We ask that you will count them that are online today, the distance may have been too far to travel, Lord. Someone may be sick in their bodies, that you will count them in this assembly. For you said in 6 days you made the world, and on the seventh day you rested, and we shall also rest. And them that keep this commandment shall be in a covenant with you. And we are thy covenant people, Master, and we are thy people and the sheep. We are the sheep of thy pasture, and we hear the voice of our Master. And we thank you, O King. We ask that you will continue to keep us until we can meet here again. This is our prayer. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone today. It's always good to be in the house and the place that the Most High has provided for us to meet and to study and talk about his divine word, and to talk about the unseen one whose name is Yahweh. We're going to read today from Tehillim, chapter 12. That would be Psalms chapter 12. Join me with you, would. For the leader on the Shemote, low-pitched musical instruments, a psalm of David. Help, Yahweh, for no one set apart is left. The faithful have vanished from humankind. They all tell lies to each other, flattering with their lips, but speaking from divided hearts. May Yahweh cut off the faltering lips and the tongue that speaks so proudly. Those who say, by our tongues we will prevail, our lips are with us. Who can master us? Wow, that's arrogant. That is arrogant. Because the poor are oppressed, because the needy are groaning, I will now rise up, says Yahweh, and grant security to those whom they scorn. Let's pause there for a minute. This particular passage right here is a passage that's apropos for what's taking place today. The poor are oppressed, the needy are groaning, and the Most High says, I will now arise up, says Yahweh, and grant security to those whom they scorn. The words of Yahweh are pure words, silver and a melting pot set in the earth, refined and purified 7 times over. You, Yahweh, protect us, guard us forever from this generation. The wicked strut about everywhere when vileness is held in general esteem. Whew. Is that not current event? Is that not current event? Chapter 13. For the leader, a psalm of David. How long, Yahweh, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I keep asking myself what to do with sorrow in my heart every day? How long must my enemy dominate me? Look, the answer with me, Yahweh my El, and give light to my eyes, or I will sleep the sleep of death. Then my enemy would say, I was able to beat him, and my adversaries would rejoice at my downfall. But I trust in your grace. My heart rejoices as you bring me to safety. I will sing to Yahweh because he gives me even more than I need. For the leader, by David. Let's pause. Let us pause. The fool says in their hearts, there is no El. They deal corruptly. Their deeds are vile. Not one does what is right. Is that not apropos? Are we not witnessing this today? From the Shemayim, heaven, Yahweh observes humankind to see if anyone has understanding, if anyone seeks El. But all turn aside, all alike are corrupt. No one does what is right, not a single one. Don't they ever learn? All those evildoers who eat up my people as if eating bread and never call upon Yahweh. There they are utterly terrified, for El is with those who are righteous. You may mock the plans of the poor, but their refuge is Yahweh. How I wish Israel's salvation would come out of Zion. When Yahweh restores his people's fortunes, Yaakov will rejoice and Israel will be glad. You may be seated. All of that text that we have just read in the Psalms, the majority of it, we are witnessing as we live today. The perversion of wickedness, the attacks on the poor and those who are not able to care for themselves. The fact that our nation that we have been exiled into is in a war that did not need to happen, but it happened because of the vanity. The psalmist talks about the vanity that it expresses. You and I, who have embraced this wisdom, you and I who have embraced the Torah and the teachings of the Most High, those of you and I who have acknowledged that Hear, O Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, He is one, and you shall love Him, and you shall serve Him with all your heart and all your resources, all your being, who have adopted Torah as a way of life, not a religion, but as a way of life. We can wake up every morning, and know that the Most High said, my eyes are always up on you. Come on. Come on, somebody. Our opulent king, David, has given us such precious words that we can apply to our life in this time of trouble. I once was young, but now I'm old. And I have never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. We have to define what righteousness is. Righteousness can only be defined within the heart of an individual who has subscribed their life to a way of life that is ordered by the Most High in keeping His rules and His regulations. And we live our life by that. So that in the midst of whatever is taking place in the universe that He has ordered, you are set a place. You are set apart in Goshen, in this place over here where my eyes are on you, and I'm going to make sure that every day you have food to eat. I'm going to make sure every day that in the midst of whatever's going on, you will survive because I am Yahweh. And you are my people. Therefore, as we look at the text in Joel tells us they, in the time of trouble, they that call up on the name of Yahweh will be delivered. So I can lay my head on my pillow at night and sleep peacefully. I can open my door in the morning and I can go out in the midst of the universe and the world and I can walk through it peacefully. Because I know that the Most High has assigned the angel that's assigned to me to watch over me. Come on, y'all. With this is not an emotional thing. We're not talking about, oh, no, we're talking about something that's educational and something that's factual, that's germane to your existence. Not a God. The opulent spirit that's unseen and the heavenly host. I see you. I see you. That's awesome. Well, so much for my postulations this morning. This Hebrew teacher over here, this young Hebrew teacher over here, I see his spirit. Will he sit down? No, I'm just messing with him. He's never like that. But Sean Appleton is going to come today, and he's going to continue to deliver the teachings out of the book of Shemote. Sean Appleton.
Shabbat shalom to all of you. I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling right now. How many of you have a smart car? Have a smart car? A car, okay. How many of you are familiar with what cruise control is? Okay, you know what cruise control is, just in the house. I got this truck that's outside, and it has this smart capability on here where the AI actually drives the car for you. You got to keep your hands on the wheel, but the car drives itself. It was taking me some time to actually understand how that actually works. And I was always apprehensive putting my hands back on the wheel, trying to drive the car. I couldn't trust the computer to understand what was going on. That's the way I feel right now. Even though I know that I'm in control, I'm not. I'm just going to try to be an empty vessel and let the Most High work. So if you're asking me what I'm going to say today, I don't know. We just going to go where the Most High takes us today. Amen. Tov meod. Shabbat shalom to all of you, to the beneficent, the Most High, the one who has created all things in 7 days, who has manifested the power that we know as the Most High through his text, through his word. What are y'all telling me? 6 days. What did I say? 7? I said 7. 6 days. Create everything in 6 days. Look at y'all. I love y'all Hebrews. Listen. We're going to get it right. Get the number right now, brother. We know there's 7 days, but the Most High created everything in how many? 6. Created everything that we can see. That's one of the things that I like to use when I talk to individuals about my faith. Faith is quantifiable evidence. You would not allow me to get you in a plane and fly you from San Francisco to New York. Why? Because you have no faith in my ability to fly. You need to see quantifiable evidence. Have you passed all of the tests and the requirements that it takes for you to become a pilot? You'd be asking me those kinds of questions to verify whether or not I knew what I was doing. So I can put my faith in the Most High because there's quantifiable evidence. In 6 days, everything was made. Can I experience light? Can I experience darkness? Can I experience the grass, the trees? I'm looking at you. You were made on the 6th day. People. I can experience people, right? I can experience everything. That's quantifiable evidence. Can I go outside in the real world, read it here in the real world, and quantify it?
Yes, that's one point of reference. 2 points of references. I can go back to Egypt right now and see everything that your ancestors made with them bricks and that straw. Quantifiable evidence of a set-apart people, right? What's my third quantifiable evidence? All of you that are sitting here in exile right now, Devarim chapter number 28 talks about as prophecy that when we violated the first mitzvah out of the contract, the ketubah, that says, I am the Most High, I am the only one, you violated that. The Most High put us in exile, right? You violated it. Devarim chapter number 28 or Deuteronomy chapter 8 talks about how what? You're going to get carried off. You're going to a far off land, right? It talks about all those things. I have quantifiable evidence. When I go across the street, give me quantifiable evidence. Does everybody know what I mean when I say go across the street? I don't want to assume that you know, okay? When I say I'm going to put my big toe off the front porch, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, all right. I'm going to stay on my side of the street. Y'all won't even allow me to go and play in the front yard, let alone come off the porch, okay? So I have quantifiable evidence. So to that one that has allowed us to be here today to observe this mitzvah of congregating, having community, I say thank you and Shabbat Shalom. To all of you that are joining us by way of the stream who have one of three things. Either you're observing the mitzvah that deals with what? Clean and unclean. That are what? Too far away. You're remote. We are your digital family. There's no possible way for you to actually join with a congregation and congregate. And for those of you that are sick, that cannot actually physically be here, Shabbat Shalom to all of you. For the rest of you that may be in your feelings or finding an excuse not to congregate on a Shabbat, read chapter number 32 of Vayikra. Everybody know what the book of Vayikra is. That's Leviticus, right? It says right at the top, you are to congregate. I didn't say congregate here. I said congregate. That's observing the mitzvah. I mean, so Shabbat Shalom to all of you. And again, to pan-Hebrewism, Hebrewism, wow, so tongue twister for me. Pan-Hebrews around the world, that's what I want to say, that are joining in today on this day of rest to observe the ways of the Most High. Shabbat Shalom to all of you today. We want to continue in your prayers to intercede on the behalf of Hebrew Israel today, if we get to it, which we probably won't. That's why I took 33 off of there. We're probably going to stay in 32 all day today. One of the things that you're going to find out that the Most High got upset at Hebrew Israel, right? He's getting ready to take them out, right? Okay. In that same vein, we got to understand, the Most High is merciful. The Most High gives grace, all right? So for those that are watching by way of the stream, the Most High is giving you grace and mercy. Hopefully, those of you that are watching by way of the stream that are curious, that are still on the fence, that are vacillating between two opinions, will be able to hear these teachings today and understand a little bit more about the Most High to bring you back to the ways of the Most High. All right? Amen? Okay. Vayikra, chapter number 19, verse 32. That's all I'm going to say. I like this. Well, maybe I do and maybe I don't. Half this room is, 3/4 of this room is sitting down. Vayikra, chapter number what? 32. Turn me down just a little bit in the house, please. Just a little bit too hot. I like to talk with this mic underneath my mouth. Vayikra, chapter number 32, verse 19, 19, verse 32. 19, verse 32. 19, verse 32. Says, stand in the presence of a person with gray hair, right? And show some respect for those that are youthful with agency and wisdom. I ain't going to say that you're old, okay? Put them seasoned with them fish bones in your hair, all right? You are to stand. You are to fear Yahweh, signed, I am Yahweh. We give respect to those that are wise. We give respect to those who individuals have that know more than we do, okay? We reverence that structure and that hierarchy in this house, and we honor the mitzvot. So turn to the person. You might have to turn around. I'm looking at all three of these lovely ladies over here. You got people behind you, to the side of you. Make sure you look at somebody in the eye that has gray hair and tell them, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. All right. Shabbat Shalom. I don't know where to start, so I'm just going to start where I left off by continuing to acknowledge the folk that are in this room. I'm not going to forget about y'all. So, to the esteemed Moray Gerald Beacom, Shabbat Shalom to all of you. To you, sir. To the esteemed Moray Cherry Beverly, Shabbat Shalom to you. To the Honorable Robert B. Holman Jr., Shabbat Shalom to all of you. All of you. You. To my, there's a lot of me. All of me. Why not? I see I'm over here singing like you up here. To the esteemed, honorable Malka, Shabbat Shalom to you, madam. Shabbat Shalom to you, Brother Charles. Shabbat Shalom. I feel like I'm on stage in front of a tribunal, right? With all this wisdom that's in the room, that's in front of me, I feel like I'm in a tribunal, but that's okay because they keep me on track. So Shabbat Shalom to all of you. So Shabbat Shalom to all of you that are joining us today here in this studio audience, observing the mitzvot. Thank you. I love you guys. Okay? All right. Let's get into it. What energy did I tell you to bring back with you this week? Okay, now wait a minute. Before we go any further, I need to do something before your moray gets upset. He's going to get upset. Let's check these mics. I want to make sure that these mics are working. If you got a mic, there should be one over here, there should be one over there. Turn that bad boy on, and let's make sure you got a green light. Test. See, this is what I'm talking about. Keep talking. Let's test these mics real quick. We're going to get this out of the way.
Shalom, shalom.
There we go.
Shalom, shalom.
Two.
There we go. Now we live and direct, okay? I want to make sure that if you have a question, if you have a comment relevant to what we're talking about, please grab the microphone, flag me down, we'll stop and we'll address it. Amen? All right. There's some portion in here today that I'm going to ask my morays to stop talking, okay? Because you guys are going to know the answer to this, all right? And I don't want any cheating. I shouldn't say cheating, but there's some things that we're going to go over today that might be kind of upper PhD level a little bit, okay? And I want my morays silent. What energy did I tell you guys to come back with? Now, we're continuing with our study in Shemote chapter number 32, which is Exodus chapter number 32. And we should probably start with this first. What happens in 32? I tried to get to it last week, but I didn't. What happens in 32? Huh? Give me two words. The golden calf. There we go. The golden calf happens in 32, right? All right. Since 32 is talking about the golden calf here, morays, be quiet. Raise your hand if you're a moray. I only got one moray. Guess y'all ain't morays, I guess. Morays, don't say anything. Okay? Tell me what you know. Y'all didn't went to vacation Bible school. What do you know about the golden calf? She said it wasn't supposed to be. Come on. What else? Shout it out. What else?
Well, it's something real stupid. It was a dumb thing to do.
It was a dumb thing to do. What did they do that was dumb? Created a false god. What else? What else? You know what? I'm walking around here. I feel like I need to have my stool. Where's this stool at? I want to sit down today. There we go. I want to sit down today.
Was it fashion?
I'm doing too much walking around. All right.
Was it fashioned after the I thought it was Baal or something.
I'm
the
gonna
god
get intimate
Baal
with y'all
had
today.
a cow or something?
Was that?
Was it Baal that had the they worshipped him with a cow?
There is
Something
a
like that?
calf that's in there.
So
There
I'm
i-
wondering if they're taking from the people and their neighbors out of panic and
Okay.
doing that.
Okay, very good. Okay, what else? Yes, we got one in the back over here. This brother right here. Yes, sir.
They got frustrated with Moses and decided to have a party.
They, they decided to have a party. They're going to call it revelry. It's what's called as revelry. What else we got? They had a party. What else did they have? They had Aaron to give them what they wanted. What else? Uh-oh. They or he? He. You're right. The golden calf was melted down, but it was melted down by one person. And it was melted down by Moshe. Moshe did the melting.
No.
Was that?
I thought his brother Haran did because Moshe was up there talking to the Most High and
Okay.
he was taken to. I'm making sure. Okay.
This is a test? This is a test. How many of you think Aharon melted it down? And, okay, let's be specific. After Moshe comes down from the mountain, the golden calf gets melted. Who melts it? I got Aharon over here. Who melts down the golden calf after Moshe comes down from the hill, comes down from the mountain? You're saying Aharon.
Wait. No. Okay.
No. Listen. There's two events that happen. There's the initial melting of all the jewelry into the golden calf done by whom? Aharon. When Moshe comes back down from the hill, he sees this revelry, this party, and he says, pow, I'm going to smash these tablets, right? He takes the golden calf and he melts it down. What's he do after that for extra credit? He makes them drink it. He makes them drink it. Where does he put it? Has to put it in the water. Puts the ashes in the water and makes them drink it, right? So, see, y'all over here good. Y'all are like, wait a minute. That's why I was very specific when I said after he comes down from the mountain, who melts it? Moshe melts it. Aharon melts it on its initiation when they make it. Why? Because Moshe's gone. For how long? Somebody said, wait a minute, give me numbers. I said, wait a minute, if you are a Moray, shh. Y'all giving the answers away. How many days? I heard 20. 40. Right. 40 days. How long was Moshe go? This is all actually, we're actually teaching the whole entire 32 right now by you guys going through these questions. Because you're going to hit all these highlight points that are in there. How long was Moshe actually gone for? He was gone for longer than 47 days. He was gone for 47. When he leaves, he takes the elders, Aviv, Nadav, Yahashua, they all go up. They sequester themselves for 6 days. Then Moshe is called by the Most High on the 7th day, and then he goes and talks to the Most High for 40 additional days. He's gone for a total of 47 days. No. That's not after he melted the calf. It's before. So, this is good. Yes, sir. Yahashua was with him. Yeah, Yahashua was there. What else do you guys know? You guys are filling in a lot of gaps. I want to fill in a little bit more. Okay? We good? We good. Okay. So this is a good kind of overview on this particular chapter and verse. I want to start somewhere different. I want to do this differently today. I just want to sit down. Can I sit down? I feel like I'm moving too much on the stage. Okay? Let me just sit down for a little bit. You know what? Shoot. What'd you say? She's making fun of me like she always does. This is my wife, by the way. You can never say Shabbat Shalom to her. We'll see who gets the laugh last now. I want to start somewhere first, okay? I want to actually go back to chapter number 24 of Shemote, and I want to do some setup, okay? And again, from last week, what did we discuss? We discussed this model last week, right? We discussed the ketubah. We discussed the tablets. We discussed the covenant and the additional mitzvot. Okay? So, I said that when I dangled my foot off of the porch last week, when I said, when you go across the street and I ask a simple question of anybody that's Christian, I ask them this question. I said, where are all of your mitzvot and where are the commandments? Show me. Where are they? Come on. You all believe in JC. See, I'm dangling my foot off the porch, okay? I'm in the front yard, okay? I'm not going to go across the street. But ask yourself the question, where? I'm an alien that just landed from another planet, and I'm asking you about your walk of faith. What do I have to be to be ethical and righteous? Where are all of those mitzvot at? Where's the instruction? You will get, depending on the denomination, you'll get policy mixed in there. You'll get all kinds of statutes, man-made statutes put in there. You'll get their version of what they think uprightness is and righteousness is in the eyes of man, not in the eyes of the Most High. That's why we can say we have definition on what the Torah is. The Torah is not the first 5 books. Those are the first 5 books. The Torah is inside the first 5 books. You have Bereshit that talks about the beginning, the inception. We talk about people like Abraham, and then you come right out of Bereshit, which is Genesis. You go right into the book of Exodus. Exodus is a beautiful book because it outlines the inception of Moshe, which, by the way, if I had to say what a modern-day Moshe would be, it'd be Barack Obama. Okay? Moshe, he said, say what? This is how I'm making that analogy. Moshe was one of these individuals that was raised where? Where was he raised? In Paro's house at the foot of his grandfather. Right? Paro's daughter got him out of the water. He was raised in the White House. He's watching generals. He's watching senators, politicians, how to run a country. He is the best equipped person, Hebraically, to walk these individuals into a land and give them their ways. What Hebrew are you going to point to? They all have a slave mentality. All of them, except this one. He was ordained to do this. So we see the inception of Moshe. We see the inception of the Most High's people within Shemote, and we see the start of where our laws, mitzvot, commandments start. Where do they start? Technically. Exodus chapter number 20. It's the famous where all the people across the street say the 10 commandments are located. Okay? That's where Hebrew Israel's commandments start. They travel all the way through Exodus 23. We have a little short break where, again, Exodus 20 to 23 talks about the ketubah. That is where the Most High goes and he says, do you want to be my wife? It's the proposal. And these are the list of criteria for that proposal. All that you say, we will do. Moshe goes back up, starts getting the rest of the commands, right? He comes back down. That is the wedding vows between Hebrew Israel and the Most High. You've got the proposal that happens, and then you've got the actual vow that actually happens. And they commit to both. Chapters 20 to 23 in Exodus. 24 is when Moshe comes back down and tells them this is what the Most High said. And they commit to it. Chapter number 25 is where you get the tablets. This is when Moshe goes back up with the elders. Moshe goes into the cloud that we talked about, which is a miracle in itself. I asked you, how many of you have went into a burning building? How many of you have burnt toast? When you see someone or a firefighter go into a burning building, they have oxygen on their back because the smoke is so much. The Most High allowed Moshe to walk into this cloud of smoke and be able to function normally. He said the rest of them, if they attempt to push forward, they're going to die, right? So we're seeing something there. So Moshe goes back up and he gets the tablets. These tablets, what's written on them? That is what's written on the tablets. We did this research last week. If you don't catch the last episode, catch the last podcast, or not podcast, but what we did last week, we went over 25 through 30. And 25 through 30 talks about nothing but this. It tells you how to make that. It tells you the colors that are supposed to be in it. It tells you the gold. It tells you all the materials that goes in there. It tells you how to make all of the furniture that goes in here. It tells you how this Kohanim is supposed to be set up. Is what his drip is supposed to be, right? He's supposed to have gold. He's got all these rubies and emerald and gold and all these things that are on him, the rocks that are put on him, the onyx pieces, the gold cords. It talks about all the mitzvot that are there. And it says at the end of 30 that the Most High scribed that with his finger and put it on the tablets. That's what's on the tablets, okay? Written by the Most High. Everything else is written by Moshe, dictated to him by the Most High, okay? So when we look at the stuff that starts in chapter number 20, that's written down by Moshe. When you take 25 through 30, that's written by the finger of the Most High. That is what goes into the ark. These tablets go into the ark. This is where we're at in 32 right now. Moshe just got done getting all of these mitzvot for the tabernacle. And now he's coming back down the hill. Right? That's what's getting ready to happen. That's where we're at. Once we get back down the hill, Moshe has to go, after he breaks these, he has to go back up the hill and get them again. How long is he gone? 40 more days to get this, to get the second set that he broke the first time. You're going to find that in chapter number 30. Matter of fact, you'll find that later on. And then when you get to Leviticus, Bamidbar, or Numbers, Deuteronomy, or Devarim, those are all continuations of the mitzvahs. These are things that they got in the wilderness. The Most High spoke to Moshe from the tent of meeting and said, tell Hebrew Israel this. Almost 80%, maybe 75% of the first 5 books are nothing but just mitzvot. Can I be safe to say that? Because when you take out Bereshit and you go to chapter number 20 in Exodus, everything after that is just pretty much mitzvot and the things that these folks did in the wilderness. Right? Okay. Am I going too fast? I was accused last week of going extremely too fast. Are we good to go? Okay, I'm looking at my mores, and I'm getting bobbleheads around the room. Okay. Now, let's start where we left off. What was the energy that you were supposed to return with this week? Let me give you that same energy. This is the energy I want you to have while you're reading 32, as we do it together, okay? How many of you have family members? All of you have family members, right? How many of you have friends? Oh, is it coming back to you now? Okay. You got friends. All right. Have any of this testimony crossed your lips? I'm looking at you, brother. Has this testimony crossed your lips? I clothed you. I fed you. I gave you money. When you came across here crying about whatever it was, I was the first person you came and talked to. I was your shoulder to cry on. I was your verbal punching bag. I was your trauma dumping center. That was me that did that. How dare you talk to me that way? How many of you have that testimony? Friends, family, you've done so much and did you dirty. That's all you hear in the room is That's the energy I want you to keep while you're reading this, okay? Think about this. This man of your dreams, ladies, has proposed to you. You have already got the wedding planned out in your brain. You've got all this stuff worked with the next level. Oh, I've already got the names for the dogs or the cats or wherever we're going to live. We're going to live in Granite Bay and da-da-da-da-da and this and that, okay? And all the things. And your husband comes and finds you flirting with somebody else, reads your text messages, finds out you doing some things, something strange for some change. That's you. Your husband finds out all this about you. How he supposed to feel? I don't want any of the ladies to answer. How you going to feel? Give me the microphone. How you going to feel? That happened to you. Yeah, if it happened to you, not to say that it did, I'm just saying, hypothetically, how would you feel?
Disrespected, hurt, demeaned, unappreciated. I feel like a failure. What did I miss?
I don't know. You hit the nail on the head with all of them.
What I really am is I am angry.
Very much so.
I'm angry. And all of those adjectives that you described are systemic to being angry.
Being angry.
The Most High is angry.
Very much so.
Now, with his anger, what happens when all those things that you mentioned that are adjectives, anger to the Most High causes something to flare up in him. His anger flares up. And when his anger flares up, then there is action. See, the descriptors that you described only say that, okay, I'm hurt. I've been demeaned. Okay, you've blocked. But anger causes me to do an action. The Most High's anger came out and caused him to do an action through Mashe, which I'm not going to talk about because it's in the lesson. I'm going to let the Moray talk about that, about the Most High's anger in that instance, because a whole lot of folks died.
So self-conscious about moving on this stage. I am. I feel like I got so much real estate up here. I just need to calm down and stay in one spot for a second. We're going to try this week, okay? We're going to see how it works out. All right, let's get into it.
The Moray's desk is up there.
The Moray, I didn't want to move it because y'all would have been like, what are you doing? Put it down. All right. That's the energy we want to have in 32, right? How dare you? How dare you do this to me? Chapter number 32. Now we in here, we read. Do we not? We're going to take it in context, and we're going to break this thing apart. Now, when the people saw Moshe was taking a long time, let's stop right here. Let's go, Moray Bickham, to chapter number 24 at the somewhere in the middle of 24. Let's start around like 13. What we just read was when the people saw that Moshe was taking a long time to come down from the mountain, they gathered around Moshe. It says, now where are we at in 24? That's around 13. Okay. Keep going down. Keep scrolling up. Keep scrolling up. Okay, it's right there. We are starting at, what is that, where it says matfir? That's 16? 16. So we're in 24 and 16. It says in 24 and 16, it says the Shekinah, or the glory of Yahweh, stayed on Mount Sinai and the cloud covered. Oh, thank you. And the cloud covered it for how many days? 6 days. On the seventh day, that's where I get that issue of the 6 days that he was up there sequestered. And then on the seventh day, what happens? On the seventh day, the Most High called to Moshe out of the cloud. Where did the cloud go? Is the cloud still there? Yes, the children of Israel can still see this cloud while Moshe's in it, right? So he's still in this cloud. He entered the cloud. He says, to the people of Israel, the Shekinah, or the glory of Yahweh, raged like a raging looked like a raging fire on top of the mountain. Moshe entered where? The cloud, and went up on the mountain. For how many days? 40 days and 40 nights. So he's in this cloud for 40 days and 40 nights. So don't sit there and tell me that these folks didn't see this cloud sitting there the whole entire time. I just want to bring this out, acting as if Moshe just disappeared, yes, from sight, but he entered the cloud with the Most High. And that's it. That's all they know. All right? Let's go back to 32. It says, when the people saw that Moshe was taking a long time, you Hebrews don't have patience at all. They haven't delivered my vote. The waiter hasn't come to my table in the first 15 minutes, or the first 10 minutes, or the first 5 minutes, or the first 30 seconds. Here y'all all having an attitude. It was taking a long time to come down from the mountain. They gathered around whom? Aharon. That's whose brother? Moshe's brother. Is he older or younger? He's older. By how many years? 3 years. He's 3 years older than Moshe. Aharon is the older brother. It says, around Aharon, and said to him, get busy and make us elves to go ahead of us. Because this Moshe, the man that brought us up from the land of Mitzrayim, we don't know what has become of him. Now, back in Shemote, chapter number 24, verses 13 through 17, I'm just going to read it to you. It says, Moshe got up, Yahashua, his assistant, that answers your question earlier. If Yahashua was there, there's your receipt. It says, Moshe got up, also Yahashua, his assistant, and Moshe went up onto the mountain of El. To the leaders, he said, stay here until what? Until we come back to you. Right? Aharon and Hur are with you. Whoever has a problem should turn to them. So this is when they're up on the hill or up on the mountain. He's getting ready to leave them. Moshe went up upon the mountaintop, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of Asher stayed on Mount Sinai. It never left. And the cloud covered it for 6 days. On the seventh day, he called Moshe out of the cloud to the people of Israel. The the glory of the Shekinah of Aya looked like a raging fire. That's what it says there. I want to just continue to reiterate that cloud didn't go anywhere. Verse 2, Aharon said to them, have your wives. Now, I want to stop for a second, okay? I want to take a side piece. If you're mitzvot heavy, what is wrong already? Maybe y'all didn't read that. I'm going to read it for you again. Get busy and make us gods or els to go ahead of us. Because this Moshe, the man that brought us up from the land of Mitzrayim, we don't know what has become of him. If you're mitzvot heavy, what's wrong? Yes, sir. Very first one. You broke the very first one right off the bat. Okay? But there's another one that's going to be a little bit more specific that we're going to get to, that we're going to give you a postulation about. But go ahead. What else? Making of a L. Right. We're off right out, wrong, right out the gate already. Yes, sir.
How many gods do we serve on an everyday basis?
Yeah. You can look at it that way. Yeah, we have these individual things that we've pedestalized and not the Most High. Instead of putting the Most High first in situations. Let me hurry up. Let me get to this point. I think I know where this comment is getting ready to go lead into. 2, Aharon said to them, here we go, right? Here's your receipt. Have your wives, sons, and daughters strip off their gold earrings and bring them to me. So take off all this drip that you got on. Take your rings off, take your earrings, all that. Bring it to me. The people stripped off their gold earrings and brought them to Aharon. He received what they gave him, melted it down. Said that earlier. Aharon melted all the gold down first and made it into the shape of a calf. They said, Israel, here is your El, who brought you up from the land of Mitzrayim. Wow. I'm not going to go across the street. 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 Not going to go across the street. Oh, here, Israel. Here's this man that is your El. Yes, sir. Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. Yep. Exactly. 100%. Should not be put to shame. Amen. 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 Do me one more favor next time. I'm gonna make sure that y'all. I got to get this on the microphone. Beautiful. Thank you, Moray. That was awesome. Aharon was put under an extreme amount of pressure. All right? And that tested his character. He folded. It's better for me to be a peacemaker than it is for me to be a quarrelsome with these folk. Okay? Instead of standing up for what's right. Okay? We can glean a good lesson from this and saying, when you know to do good, you need to. All right? Let's move forward. But before we do that, I want to take a quick sidebar real quick. I'm looking at my notes here. What did they strip off? Gold. Who gave them that? Do you think Egyptians were just wearing gold that just was round? And no, they wore gold that resembled the gods that they served. You are a slave in Mitzrayim for X amount of years, and you see your oppressors doing X. Your point of reference is X. So that's why I have a little bit of grace in this issue to say, individuals that are here, or we are born into this, obviously we have to have some grace. We've come out, but at the same time, we were where they were. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have any other frame of reference because that's what you've been indoctrinated into. And then when you eliminate the name of the Most High out of any text, so you don't know what name to call on except one that you associate with, which is JC, that's all you're going to do. So when the Most High's name is removed out of Shemote chapter number 3, verse 15, systematically, strategically, you don't know who to call on, right? I had a hand over here.
Shabbat Shalom, Moray.
Shalom.
I wanted to know what was the purpose of having them to drink the gold, because our bodies can't consume something like that. Apparently theirs did, and digest it properly. Was that a punishment or something?
I am going to answer that question, and I'm glad that you brought it up. I love the fact that you Hebrews come in here with these types of inquisitive questions as we do deep dives like this. That is going to come up later on, and I got a whole entire dissertation that's going to explain that issue there. Why? Okay, you're coming down the hill, you see this going on, and then you decide to go ahead and melt this thing down, put it in the water, and have people drink it. Why? See, when we're across the street, they're not going to teach on that. Because at the end of the day, it's about making sure you have an emotional orgasm at the end of the day. Instead of actually getting some teaching on something. Now I need to get back in the yard, okay? I stepped out the porch and I went into the yard. Now I'm on the sidewalk. I need to come back, okay? It's easy for me to do that. They were wearing jewelry created in Mitzrayim. Let me read you something. Egyptian jewelry. Egyptians were deep believers in jewelry's spiritual significance. It was worn to ward off evil spirits, protect their health, and bring good luck. Certain colors, designs, and materials were associated with supernatural powers and deities. For example, an orange-red stone would be suggested of blood, which is infused into the ornament for its potency and energy. Egyptian jewelry followed very strict rules regarding the mystical aspects of their jewelry's creation. They're traveling with this because what did we say at the end when they were leaving? Take their gold, take their jewelry. They took that and they took their clothes and they left. So you got a bunch of folk that look like Egyptians walking in the desert, right? Okay. The calf. There is an Egyptian god called Hathor. Hathor means house of horns. Was a major eldris. This is a feminine god or deity in Mitzrayim. It's spelled Hathor. Hathor. A major eldest in ancient Egyptian religion who played a wide variety of roles. As a sky deity, she was the mother or consort of the sky El Horus and the sun El Ra, both of whom were connected with kingship, and thus she was a symbolic mother of their earthly representation, the pharaohs. She was one that served as an eldris who acted as the eye of Ra, Ra's feminine counterpart. I think Ra is like the sun god, I believe. Is that true? Okay. Ra's feminine counterpart. And in this form, she had a vengeful aspect that protected him from his enemies. Her benefit side represented music, dance, joy, love. Come on. I'm going to slow down. Because when you start connecting the dots as to why is it a calf and not a crocodile and not a fly and not a frog. They had many gods. Why a calf? And you look at this god of the calf and then you act out what they actually did. Her benefit side represented music, dance, joy, love, sexuality, and maternal care, as she acted as a consort of several male deities and the mother of their sons. So she basically was, I hate to use this vulgar term, but she was a god that was hoeing around in their religion, okay? That is Hathor. That is the cow god or calf god in Mitzrayim. Sir, were you going to say something?
Yeah. The association, when you're in a place for a long time, you ask questions. These Hebrew people understood what that goal represented in Mitzrayim and to those Egyptians. They lived there, they asked questions, which is a reason why they would come up with this particular thing to ask Aharon to make them this golden calf god, because they knew what that goal represented, because they learned it in Mitzrayim.
Right, right.
We know what Christianity is because we learned it in our exile. Actually, we learned it before we got to our exile, but it was more enforced in our exile. Mm-hmm. Therefore, in this exile, we don't know anything about the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov.
Yeah.
We only know about the Elohim that is associated with Paul, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That's all we know.
And Muhammad.
As my 111 mother told me, as I talked to her, she says, Robert, we were never taught this. So if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know, right?
But remember, the Hebrew people are only a step out of Mitzrayim. They're just a step out of Mitzrayim. They haven't really come to this point of being sequestered with the Most High so they can know. So the only thing they only know for 40 days of Moshe being gone is what they learned in their exile.
Absolutely. They went with what they knew.
However, that did not excuse the anger of the Most High.
Well, let's read on, because we ain't got to that yet. Okay, we ain't got to the part where, how dare you, Negro? Okay. Verse number 5. On seeing this, Aharon built an altar in front of it and proclaimed. So we have this calf. Yes, sir. Go ahead. I missed one? What did I miss?
He received what they gave him, melted down, and made.
All right. Okay. When did I need to go back to? 4. Okay. I missed 4. Excuse me. He received what they gave him, melted it down, and made it into the shape of a calf. They said, Israel, B'nai Israel, here is your El, who brought you up from the land of Mitzrayim. This calf right here is the one that did all the work. You know what? The spirit of those deities are in that jewelry. It's in their minds. It's in all that stuff they carried out with them. It's easy for them to say, okay, I'm making this association here with this now representing the God that actually brought us out. We know that that's not true. Verse 5, on seeing this, Aharon built an altar in front of it and proclaimed, tomorrow is to be a feast to Eye Asher Eye. They called this calf the Most High, Eye Asher Eye, and put an altar in front of it and said, tomorrow we're going to have a feast to this Eye Asher Eye. I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it. Can I do it? Can I do it? Shemote, chapter number 20. Shemote, chapter number 20. Thank you. Okay. Just turn me up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Shemote, chapter number 20. And my moray already knew where to go. This is a part of what? This is a part of the betrothal of Hebrew Israel to the Most High. You are to have no other else before me. You are not to make for yourself come on. You are not to make for yourselves a carved image or any kind of representation of anything in the heaven above. Don't tell me this brother came down from the heaven above and inseminated this woman, okay? And on the earth beneath, or in the water below the shoreline. So when you see the little fishes on the back of them cars y'all like to drive, okay? You are not to bow down. You are not to bow down to them. Let me be a little bit hot under in the house. You are not to bow down to them or serve them, for I, Eye Asher Eye, your El, am a jealous El. I want you to remember that word. There's a buzzword you're going to leave with today. It's the word jealous. The rest of my dissertation is going to hinge on that word. He gives you a descriptor of what the Most High is. I, what? Am jealous. Right? Now, let's go back. Go back to 6. Yep, 6. We're in 32 and 6. It says, early the next morning, they got up and offered burnt offerings, did their hair, did their nails, did their makeup, did all that stuff, got dressed, came out there in their Sunday's best, did burnt offerings and presented peace offerings. Afterwards, the people sat down to eat and drink. Then they got up to indulge. There you go, brother. There's your receipt. In revelry. What's the definition of revelry? Revelry is described as engaging in wild, excessive, and often immoral partying, typically characterized by uncontrolled drinking, gluttony, and lewd behavior. I read to you what Hathor represents. Let me go back and get it for you one more time. Her benefit to society was represented in music, dance, joy, love, sexuality, and maternal care. And she acted as a consort of several male deities and the mother of their sons. Makes sense as to why they're used doing this stuff, okay? Let's keep going. Verse number 7, it says, Eye Asher Eye said to who? Who's talking? The Most High. It says, Eye Asher Eye said to Moshe, go down, hurry, your people. He said, you know how he's like, your son did this. Today he ain't my son, he's your son today. Go down, hurry, your people whom you brought up from the land of Mitzrayim have become corrupt. So quickly have they turned aside from the way I ordered them to follow. We ain't even 2 months deep in this relationship. You already cheating. They have cast a metal statue of a calf, worshipped it, sacrificed to it, and said, Israel, here is your El, whom brought you up from the land of Mitzrayim. Just Moshe is reading a text message right now. Think of this as a text message Moshe is reading. You said what? 9. Eye Asher Eye continued speaking to Moshe. I have been watching these people, and you can see, come on, this is an attribute of us. What are we? Stiff neck. Look and see how stiff necked they are. Now leave me alone so that my anger can blaze against them and I can put an end to them. Right? And I will make a great nation out of you instead. I'm willing to risk it all, wipe all of these jokers out, and start over with you. Right? Okay. So that's this dynamic that we have. Is the Most High upset? The Most High is angry. Let me ask you a question. Up for debate. Question. When the Most High says something, does the Most High ever renege on what he says? Okay. Let me answer the question for you. You are 110% correct. The Most High, when the Most High says something, the Most High is going to do it. What did we just read? What did we just read? We read, I have been watching these people. I'm back up in verse 9. And you see how stiff-necked they are. Now leave me alone so that my anger can blaze against them and I can put an end to them. I'm going to wipe them out. And I will make a great nation out of you instead. It goes on. Moshe pleaded with Eye Asher Eye, his El, and said, Eye Asher Eye, why must your anger blaze against your own people, whom you brought out of the land of Mitzrayim with great power and a strong hand? Why let the Egyptians say it was with evil intention that the Most High led them out to slaughter them in the hills and wipe them off the face of the earth? Turn from your fierce anger. Relent. I want to stop right here for a second and take a real side quest. Do you see what Moshe is doing? The same thing we need to be doing right now in exile, which is interceding for Hebrew Israel. They are continuing to mess up. We stand in the gap for Hebrew Israel. He's interceding on their behalf. Okay? That's what we need to do. Our brothers and sisters don't know the ways of the Most High or veered away from him. So instead of wiping them out, Most High, pray for them. I'm praying and interceding on their behalf. Calm your anger. Show them mercy. Show them grace. Showed you enough grace. Took you how many years to get here? All them years you was sitting there foaming at the mouth, having somebody lay hands on you, fall down, put the white sheet over you, like you had died somewhere, ran around, picked a bale of cotton, swung from the rafters like Spider-Man, and the Most High still showed grace and mercy. That is what we need to continue to do for our brothers and sisters. Instead of condemning, we need to edify, build them up in the ways of the Most High. Do you know who you are? You are a kingship group of folk. The Most High has set you aside as a specific treasure. You and only you. Them 10 commandments you think that belong to you, they don't. That is for a specific group of people, for Hebrew Israel, upon which you probably don't know you're a part of, but you are. And anybody else that wants to join in the benefits of that wants to join. I'm talking about the foreigner that wants to join with Hebrew Israel. You are not Hebrew Israel, but you can join with Hebrew Israel, and you have all those same those mitzvahs applied to you. Okay? Joining in league and reaping the benefits as well. I just wanted to stop and make that point to say this is intercession that's happening right here that we need to continue to do for our people. Let's go on to where it says relent. It says relent. Don't bring such disaster on your people. Remember. Remember. Zakar, that's the Hebrew word. Remember Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, or Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by your very self. You promised them, I will make your descendants as many as the stars in the sky, and I will give all this land I have spoken about to your descendants, and they will possess it forever. I'm going to do two things here. I want to make sure we understand something before moving forward. With this particular issue, not only is at least Moshe interceding on the behalf of Hebrew Israel, but the Most High is not being reminded. That's a debate for the PhD folks. It's being brought up publicly. Hey, you made a vow. So you said that you was going to wipe these folks out, but you also made a vow. At least a vow to deliver them into the land and give them all of these possessions. So how are you going to wipe them out? I don't see how you're doing this, Most High, how you're wiping this group of people out, but you still have to honor your vow. How are you doing that? And the Most High is very clever. The Most High, can two things be true at the same time? Okay. In this instance, two things are true at the same time. Maybe I should just give it to you right now. How are they true at the same time? How do we solve the equation of the Most High does not break the word that comes out of the Most High? He's angry. I'm going to wipe these people out, but at the same time, I still have to deliver these people into the land. Solve the equation, and my mores need to be quiet because they already know the answer to this. How do we resolve that equation? Yes, ma'am.
Well, shalom,
Shalom.
everybody. Righteousness comes to those that keep his laws, his statutes, his
True.
mitzvot.
Mhm.
I'm sure every last one of them didn't do it, but the ones that did, I think that they should pay for what they did. And the ones that didn't, I think they the ones that should go to the land, even if it's a few.
So there
But
is
that's
text.
me.
Understood. So there is text that says, that's the Most High talking, getting ready to descend on the mountain. Y'all need to be quiet. You ain't supposed to move until what? The shofar blows, right? You stay where you are until the shofar blows.
Nobody moves.
There is text that talks about they all died except for two of them. Who are the two? From the old regime. I need to be very specific because this is going to tear up my argument. Jehoshua and Caleb. Why? Those were the only two that came back with a good report when they went and spy out the land and said, we can take them. And the rest of them said, Moshe didn't make it. Aharon didn't make it. Okay? This is how I resolve the equation. How the Most High, two things can be true at the same time. I'm going to kill these folk, but I still have to deliver them into the land. This is how we're going to resolve this. I'm just going to stall you out. I'm going to listen, did the Hebrew people get into the land? Did the Most High say, I'm going to put your descendants into the land? So let's get rid of this group and get the descendants in the land. That's how we resolve two things at the same time. This is a group of people that literally went in and they sacrificed to this calf. I'm going to kill them. And that's exactly what the Most High did. Executed them right in the desert. Those folk, 40 years and up, gone. That whole entire group got wiped out. Now who's left? The descendants of that group. They're the ones that go into the land. So I can tell you I'm going to kill this group because I did do it. But I still can honor my word and take my people into the land because that group didn't go. Now I got this whole group that I've spent 40 years training on how to do my mitzvot, and they're the ones that are going to go in there pure. Right? We are kind of in that same situation. You see people like Zay. You see people like my two sons. They know nothing about Mitzrayim. What do I mean by Mitzrayim? They know nothing about where we came out of. Wherever that was for you, if it was wherever that is, okay? For us, it was Christianity. They don't know any of those traditions. They don't know any of that stuff. They don't know nothing about Santa Claus. They don't know about nothing about the Easter Bunny. They don't know about no Resurrection Sunday. They don't know about any of that. None of that. Right? Okay? So that's how we can resolve the equation. We still got one more equation to resolve later on here, though. That's the first piece. Let me give you this second piece here. Because in the text here, I'm a nerd, so I like looking up stuff. Where does the Most High give this covenant to each of these individuals? In the text here it says, in 13, let's read it. Remember Abraham, Yitzhak, and which should be Yaakov or Israel, your servants to whom you swore by your very self, you promised, I will make your descendants as many as the stars in the sky, and I will give all this land I have spoken about to your descendants, and they will possess it forever. Where is that? Let me give you every piece so you actually have it at the ready. The covenant is spoken to Abraham in Bereshit, chapter number 17, verse 1 through 14. That is where that covenant is spoken to Abraham. Bereshit or Genesis, chapter number 17. I'm not going to read it. Thank you for going there. I'm not going to read. I'm just giving people the reference points. Chapter number 17, verses 1 through 14. That is where Abraham receives the covenant from the Most High. It's reiterated to his Abraham's descendant, which is Yitzchak, in Bereshit, chapter number 26, verses 1 through 5. That is where Yitzhak gets told the covenant. Yaakov gets told the covenant. In Bereshit, yes, Bereshit is Genesis. When I use these Hebrew names, Bereshit is Genesis, Shemote is Exodus, Leviticus is Vayikra, Bamidbar is Numbers, Deuteronomy is Devarim. Yaakov receives the covenant from the Most High in Bereshit, chapter number 28, verses 13 through 15. Those are your receipts. So let me go back through them. Abraham receives the covenant from the Most High. Genesis or Bereshit, chapter 17, verses 1 through 14. Yitzhak receives the covenant from the Most High in chapter number 26 of Genesis or Bereshit, verses 1 through 5. Yaakov receives the covenant from the Most High in Bereshit or Genesis, chapter number 28, verses 13 through 15. And if you mosey on over to 30 of Genesis, chapter number 30, verses 9 through 13, that's where Yaakov's name changes from Yaakov to Israel. Just for reference. Do I need to say that one more time? Yes. Okay, one more time. Let me go through it one more time. Abraham, Genesis 17, chapter 17, verses 1 through 14. Yitzhak, his covenant spoke to him. Bereshit, chapter number 26, verses 1 through 5. Yaakov is given the covenant in chapter number 28 of Genesis. They're all in Genesis. Chapter number 28, verses 13 through 15. Okay? That's where those covenants are spoken to all of those men. Out of the mouth of the Most High, alone. Nobody else was translating. Nobody was there saying, oh, I see that other dude standing right beside you. Who's he with the long flowing blonde hair like he just got off of his surfboard? I got to keep myself on the porch. Never mind. Let's keep moving. We good. We good? Okay, we good. All right. 14 says, Eye asher eye. Then changed. What does that say there in Stern's translation? Changed his mind about the disaster he had planned for the people. Now, as students, mores, do not answer this because you guys already know the answer to this. There is a resolve to this. More Beacon, let's go over to Bamidbar, chapter number 23, verse 19. Because somebody that's a student across the street may bring you this and say, I thought you said that the Most High doesn't change his mind. And then clearly in text it says right there that the Most High changed his mind about what he thought. Go to 23 and 19. Because this is our bread and butter here when we use this. Okay? Yahweh is not a human. I don't know how much clearer we can get other than that, okay? Who lies, let me just tell it to you again, human or mortal. Yahweh is not a human who lies or a mortal who changes his mind. Okay, now wait a minute. Now we got a problem. How do you resolve these two verses? Come on. How do you resolve it? Mamores are not allowed to answer. How do we resolve? We got one piece of text that says that the Most High changed the mind, and then we got another one that says that the Most High doesn't change. How do we resolve it? Numbers. You guys, I'm giving this answer away already by doing this. I'm giving this answer away while doing this already. Okay. Okay. Resolve it. Any ideas? How do we resolve this? Okay. There's a lot of blank stares. Any of my mores, y'all want to chime in? Somebody brings you this as a more, and they say, here in text, you just read to me, and you guys said that you read text verbatim, and I'm reading it verbatim, and it says, what? In 14, I'm back in Shemote chapter number 32. It says, Eya then changed his mind about the disaster he had planned for the people. And I thought you just read to me here where it says that the Most High doesn't change his mind in Bad Midbar, chapter number 23, verse 19. Resolve it. Okay, there's your answer right there.
Thank you.
Right. Right.
There's another piece of that text that
Go ahead.
that we have to look at.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go back into verse 10. He said, I can put an end to them. He said, I can. He didn't say he was. He said, I can put them to an end. Now we get down, as you just indicated, the Most High is not changing his position on what he can do, but his anger is relented.
Okay. These are all good answers. This is how I resolved it. I'm going to show you the process. When I went through here and I saw that popped out to me immediately because it's a direct contradiction to what's in Bad Midbar, okay? So this is the first thing I recognized. Whose translation am I using? Let's start there first. Do I have the purest translation of this text? No. And you don't. And part of the problem is when you're reading the NIV, you're reading Stern, the complete, which is generally what we're using here. When you're reading the scriptures, when you're reading all these other ones that are here, there are going to be nuances in each of them. And sometimes that's why when you see me reading this, everywhere it says Adonai, I never say Adonai. I say Eye Asher Eye. I say the name of the Most High. Because all that means is just Lord. Or God is we never say God. We say El. Means master. Right. We designate the name. Right? So the first piece for me in resolving this is I would direct you to go look at the purest translation. Probably. Let's take a look at another translation. So this is what you do when you come across stuff like this. I'm going to walk you through it. I went to 32. There's a website called Bible Hub. This is the first place I went. And in Bible Hub, you can go look up by verse, chapter and verse, and what you're looking for is the interlinear. Right here. You're looking for the interlinear. When you go to the interlinear, all I'm doing, as I'm moving pretty quickly here, but all I'm doing is I'm putting in the chapter and verse that I'm working with here, which is 32. What the interlinear does is it puts the Hebrew text over top of the English. And when you're reading Hebrew, you always read from where? Derecho to izquierda, right to left, right? Thank you. I need some bobbleheads over there. You read from right to left, okay? So what I'm going to do, what verse are we in? What is this verse that we're having a problem with? We're having with the verse number 14. And your Moray already gave you the word in the back already, okay? We're going to go to 14. So we're going to read it this way. Because Stern may not have gotten it right, okay? He doesn't get a lot of, I agree with you. There's a lot of stuff that he says that we got to challenge. There's 14. Where is 14? Right there. So the first Hebrew words right out of the gate is right here. It says, so relented Yahweh from. It didn't say that he changed his mind. It says he relented. Instead of doing it now, I'm going to do it later. I'm just changing up a little bit. Not changing in the sense that I'm changing my mind on my end result. My approach is going to be a little different. Okay? So, using that word that's in there, I can say relent. Now, relent means to soften in temper, determination, or severity, becoming more compassionate, forgiving, or less intense. Now, what part of that is changing your mind? None of it. So I would say in this particular instance, when we run across this and somebody brings that to you, this is one of the first places I would go to say, okay, we got to go to the translation and see what the translation is saying. If the translation reads a little bit better and is consistent with the ways of the Most High, then I'm going to go with this translation right here, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. You see what I did? We recognized that there was an issue. The first line of defense that we wanted to do is check the translation. The translation in this particular one is wrong. So I disagree with Stern. We good? Yes, sir.
I would add to support what you said, if we go to Isaiah, Yeshayahu, chapter 27.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts off reading. It says, we can start at 1. I'm going to go to 1 till 5. It says, on that day, Yahweh with his great, strong, relentless sword will punish Leviathan, the fleeing serpent. Mm-hmm. The twisting serpent, Leviathan, he will slay the sea monster. And then he goes on, he says, on that day, a pleasant vineyard, sing about it, which from my knowledge, he's talking about Israel. And he says, I, Yahweh, guard it, which he's talking about Israel. Moment by moment, I water it, Israel, so that no harm will come to it. I guard it night and day. I have no anger in me. If it gives me briars and thorns, then as in war, I will trample it down and burn it up at once. But he says this, unless it takes hold of my strength in order to make peace with me. Mm-hmm. Yes, to make peace with me. So when I'm reading, when I'm going through text, I see Yah is basically saying, if you do the right thing, I will bless you. Mm-hmm. If you do the wrong thing, then that's what you will receive. Mm-hmm. So it says, unless you take hold of my strength in order to make peace with Yah, unless you do that, then it's going to have a negative effect.
Right.
So Yah is not changing who he is. He's just saying you need to act accordingly. That's how I see it.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. There was you good? We know the good. Know to do good, you do good. Absolutely. Okay. Y'all ready to move forward? We good? I'm already at almost an hour and a half, and I ain't got halfway through this. We may have to do part 2 to this. But I do want to get to your issue today, which was what we brought up earlier, which is, okay, the drinking of this juice This is some weird Kool-Aid you got us drinking here, okay? I'm giving you guys the answer. It's in the Kool-Aid. 14. So we know how to resolve 14. Okay? 15. Moshe turned and went down from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand. What's on those tablets? That guy. I just showed y'all what's on these tablets. You can skim it. That's on the tablets. 25 through 30 in Shemote. That's what's on the tablets, okay? It says Moshe turned and went down from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hands, the tablets inscribed on both sides, on the front and on the back. The tablets were the work of who? The Most High, right? And the writing was the writing of El, engraved on the tablets. Then Yahushua, there's the receipt there, heard the noise of the people shouting. He said to Moshe, it sounds like war in the camp. Whew, that's a party. It says, he answered, that is neither clamor of victory nor the wailings of defeat. What I hear is the sound of people singing. Let me go back to Hathor. Hathor is the god of music, dance, joy, love, sexuality, and maternal care. What are they doing? They're doing what their God, whom they think that is, likes. No, we ain't got there yet. So, let's keep going. 19. But the moment Moshe got near the camp, when he saw the calf and the dancing, his own anger blazed up. He threw down the tablets he had been holding and shattered them at the base of the mountain. Now, I have a little dissertation as to why I think he does that, why he's doing that. And the reason why I'm saying that is right now we've got a corrupted group of people that can't even do the very first command that I gave them to do, which is to honor the Most High. Why would I give them the blueprint to my house? Maybe that didn't hit home for none of y'all. You have an individual that you are quarreling with, and you're going to give him the keys to your front door? I would rather you not know where I lived at all. Lose my number. Block me. Do something. Okay? That's my postulation as to why Moshe broke them things. Said, no. You guys ain't going to have access to this. You guys aren't even right. Okay? But that's my own postulation. That's me talking. Let's keep going. It says, seizing the calf they had made, he melted it. There's the part where I'm saying Moshe melted it, okay? Moshe melted it in the fire and ground it into powder, which he scattered on the water. Then he made the people of Israel drink it. Now, let me keep going. I need to get to a verse. Or maybe not. Moshe said to Aharon, this is 21, what did these people do to you to make you lead them into such a terrible sin? Aharon replied, my Lord, shouldn't be so angry. You know what these people are like. You know what Negroes are like. Come on. That they are determined. And that's a great adjective in there. They are determined to do evil.
That's terrible.
So they said to me, make us elves to go ahead of us, because this Moshe, the man that had brought us up from the land of Mitzrayim, we do not know what has become of him. I answered them, anyone with gold, strip it off. So they gave it to me. I threw it in the fire, and out came this calf. When Moshe saw that the people had gotten out of control, because Aharon had allowed them to get out of control, there is your responsibility, pastors. You are still responsible at the end of the day. There is some accountability that you have to take when you've been given the edicts of the Most High to follow them, and you decide to follow after Paul. There you go. Because Aharon had allowed them to get out of control to the derision of their enemies. What is the derision of their enemies? Derision, the definition refers to the mockery, the ridicule, and contempt shown by adversaries toward a group that has lost its strength, protection, and moral standing. It commonly denotes becoming a laughing stock amongst the people. So let me go back and read that again. 25, when Moshe saw that the people had gotten out of control because Aharon had allowed them to get out of control to the derision of the enemies. That means that the people that were watching them saw that they had lost already. They had become a laughing stock. Don't tell me that y'all ain't living in that right now. Okay? Y'all melanated folk are a laughing stock around the world. Period. The end of story. Okay? 26. Moshe stood at the entrance to the camp and shouted, "Whoever is with Eye Asher Eye, come to me." All of the descendants of whom? Levi rallied around him. Now, this is where I'm going to go back and try to answer this drinking of this solution. 27. Let's go slow. He told them who? Who is speaking? Moshe told who? The Levites. He says, here is what Eye Asher Eye. He's speaking to Israel. Here is what Eye Asher Eye, the El of Israel, says. Let's stop for a second and let's put on our critical thinking caps. When did Moshe consult with the Most High on what he's getting ready to say? Where? So, thank you. This is what the Most High says. Each of you is to put his sword on his side and go up and down the camp from gate to gate, and every man is to kill his own kinsman, his own friend, and his own neighbor. When I read that, again, I went back up and said, where in the world did the Most High tell Moshe to go do that? Because it says there, right there, here is what Eye Asher Eye says. This is the way I'm looking at it. This is me talking, okay? I got to make sure I separate me talking versus what's text talking. This is how this is making sense to me. Shemote, chapter number 22. Let's go there. Shemote 22. And I want you to grab, I want you to grab 19. Shemote number, so again, it has to be something that the Most High has already said to Moshe, because he said, this is what the Most High has said. Okay? What does 19 say? Anyone who sacrifices. Now again, let me hold on before we stop. When we're back up in 22, we're in the ketubah. We're in the vows that Hebrew Israel is now is being dictated to Moshe. Moshe comes down in chapter number 24, and they tell him this, and he says, all that you say, we will do. So this was spoken to Moshe prior to him coming down, right? Make sense? Okay, 19, it says, anyone who sacrifices to any El other than Eye Asher Eye alone is to be completely destroyed. Okay? Now, we've got this issue here where it says the Most High says X. This is how Moshe is going to have them do it. He's applying a mitzvot that the Most High told him earlier, and the execution is basically left up to Moshe. So the execution of it is what he tells them. What does he tell them to do? Go up and down from gate to gate and do what? Let's read it. Ooh, I didn't skip the page. I'm not there yet. We got to go all the way back to 27. And we're in 32. 27. It says, he told them, here is what Eya Asher Eye, the El of Israel, says. Each of you is to put on his sword on his side. This is the execution of it, because you have to be completely destroyed because you got what? You decided to sacrifice to this El. This is going to speak to a little bit what this dear lady said earlier today, okay? Each of you put his sword on his side and go up and down the camp from gate to gate, and every man is to kill his own kinsman, his own friend, and his own neighbor. Let's read on. The sons of Levi did what Moshe said, and that day 3,000 of the people died. Now let's stop and put our thinking caps on. How many people came out of Mizraim? 600,000 men. That's counted as men. And there's a select 3,000 that died out of this group. A select, because they went from gate to gate. So they're hunting for something. I'm going to apply a mitzvot of the jealous husband to this, okay? This mitzvot comes later on, but I'm going to apply it here as to, now this is me talking. This is me talking. This is me talking. Does everybody know this is me talking? This is me talking. Okay. I'm going to apply the mitzvot of the jealous husband. Before we go to that, I want to go back to Bereshit, chapter number 20, and I want to read this part about the Most High being jealous. We're going to end it with Bod Mead Bar. I'm going to get you out of here because we've been in here. I think you're drinking from the fire hose. Just a little bit. And we're going to have to finish 32 next week. Let's go back to 20. What does it say in 20? It's the second mitzvot. So chapter number 20 of Exodus, Shemote 20. Go back to Shemote 20. All I want to show you is where the Most High says that the Most High is jealous. And then we're going to apply the rule of the jealous husband, because we are married to the Most High, to what just happened here. Okay? Where does it say it? It's in the second one. It's in the second. Let's go. That's good. We start at the top. You are to have no other Els before me. You are not to make for yourself any carved image of any kind. Right? Go on, go on, go on. Anything beneath the shoreline. You are not to bow down to them or serve them. For I, Yahweh, your El, is what? Is jealous. There's a mitzvot about the jealous husband. It's in Bod Midbar, chapter number 5, verse 11 through 28. And we're going to read it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Let's think about what just happened. What just happened here is Moshe comes down from the mountain. He sees this golden calf, grinds it up, puts it in the water, and makes them drink it. Let's see what Bod Midbar says. Eya Asher Eya said to Moshe, tell the people of Israel, if a man's wife goes astray and is unfaithful to him, is that not what happened? That is, if another man goes, I want you to visually think in your mind that the man here in this particular issue is the Most High, and the woman is Hebrew Israel. Okay, now read it. Maybe I want to try to substitute those words in here. Let's go back to the beginning. If Eya Asher Eya said to Moshe, tell the people of Israel, if Eya Asher Eya's wife, which is Hebrew Israel, goes astray and is unfaithful to him, that is, if another man goes to bed with her without her husband's knowledge, she does this in secret, so that she becomes impure secretly, and there is no witness against her, and she is not caught in the act, then if the spirit of jealousy comes over him, he is what? He is jealous of his wife, and she has become impure. Or, for that matter, if the spirit of jealousy comes over him, and he is jealous of his wife, and she has not become impure, he is to bring his wife to the Kohen, along with the offering for her, 2 quarts of barley flour, on which he has not poured olive oil or put frankincense. So this is speaking to the issue of, I think you're cheating on me. I have no proof, but I think you're cheating on me, and it's making me jealous. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to round up my offerings, and I'm going to take you before the Kohanim. Let's read on. He's to bring his wife to the Kohanim, to the Kohen, along with the offerings for her, 2 quarts of barley flour, on which he has not poured olive oil or put frankincense, because it is a grain offering for what? Jealousy. A grain offering for remembrance, for recalling to the mind. The Kohen will bring her forward and place her before Eye Asher Eye. The Kohen will put set-apart water. Do we not have water with Moshe? He puts what? The ground up calf in the water, right? Okay, so we do have the component of water if we're making the connection here. The Kohen will put set-apart water in a clay pot, and then the Kohen will take dust on the floor of the tabernacle and put it in the water, doing the same thing. But in this particular instance, he's taking the dust off the floor of the tabernacle and putting it in the water. Moshe, all he did was he took the ground up dust out of this calf and put it in the water. Let's see what happens. Let's continue on. The Kohen will place the woman before Eye Asher Eye, unbind the woman's hair, and put the grain offering for remembering in her hands, and the grain offering for jealousy, while the Kohen has in his hand the water of embitterment and cursing. It says the Kohen will make her swear by saying, if no man has gone to bed with you, if you have not gone astray to make yourself unclean while under your husband's authority, then be free from this water of embitterment and cursing. But if you have in fact gone astray while under your husband's authority and become unclean because some man other than your husband has gone to bed with you, then the Kohen is to make the woman swear with an oath that includes a curse. The Kohen will say to the woman, may Eye Asher Eye make you the object of cursing and condemnation among your people by making your private parts shrivel up and your abdomen swell up. May this water, what's happening? This water of embitterment, if she drinks it and she's guilty, her innards are going to shrivel up. There's a physical sign that something happened, that she did something. Right? Say, may this water, what did I leave off in 22? 20? Let's go back to 20. But if you have in fact gone astray while under your husband's authority and become, I went down too far. I'm sorry. Go down to 21. Then the Kohen is to make the woman swear an oath that includes the curse. The Kohen will say to the woman, may Eye Asher make you an object of cursing, condemnation among your people, and making your private parts shrivel and your abdomen swell up. May this water that curses the curse go into your inner parts and make your abdomen swell and your private parts shrivel up. And the woman is to respond, Amen, Amen. The Kohen is to write these curses on a scroll, wash them off into the water of embitterment, and make the woman drink the water of embitterment and cursing. The water of cursing will enter her and become bitter. Then the Kohen is to remove the grain offering for jealousy from the woman's hand, wave the grain offering before Eye Asher, and bring it to the altar. The Kohen is to make the handful of grain of offering as a reminder portion to make it go up in smoke on the altar. Afterwards, he's to make the woman drink the water. Y'all looking confused. Y'all looking confused. You don't know where I am? Okay. I'm in Numbers. I'm in Numbers 5. Okay. I'm in Numbers 5. I started in verse number 11. 5 and 11. 11 through 28. That's where I'm reading from. I'm reading the mitzvot on the jealous wife. So, a jealous husband. You know where I am now? Okay. You see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to apply the mitzvot of the jealous husband to what the Most High is doing with Hebrew Israel in the desert. Okay? I'm trying to explain why these things are happening, because these mitzvots are all connected together. Do you want me to believe that the Most High was up there with Moshe on the second time that he went up there for 40 days? And literally, he could have literally just wrote, it didn't take us 40 days to read them or write them. Okay? I got to believe he's up there having another conversation with the Most High. Okay? That Moshe knows a lot of this stuff already. Okay? So, the Kohen, let's go to 26. Okay, I got to go 2 more verses. The Kohen is to take a handful of the grain offering and the remainder portion and make it go up and smoke on the altar. Afterwards, he is to make the woman drink the water. When he has made her drink the water, then, if she is unclean, let's check this out. I'm jealous. I bring my wife. Kohen is going to go ahead, write this curse on this parchment. He's going to put it in this water along with the dust that's in this water. That is the water of embitterment. Now we were at the point where she's getting ready to drink it. Let's see what it says. When he has made her drink the water, then if she is unclean and has been unfaithful to her husband, the water that causes the curse will enter her and become bitter, so that her abdomen swells and her private parts shrivel up, and the woman will become an object of cursing among her people. But if the woman is not unclean but clean, then she will be innocent and will have children. Now, let's go back and answer the question. Why these 3,000? Because you showed signs. I know who to kill. I can go from gate to gate because I know who I'm looking for. Right? Okay? However that manifested itself, it doesn't say in the text, but if we're going to apply this, I got to believe that when Moshe went down there, he had it in his mind on what was getting ready to happen and said, I'm going to apply this law here. Have them drink it. Now, I don't know which one of you jokers in here that decided that y'all wanted to go ahead and influence our home, but we're going to find out. You know how we're going to find out? We're going to let the Most High point you out. So I need an army. Whoever wants to be with me on my side, let's roll. And I would think that that would be the Levites because that's his family. That's where Moshe comes from. The Levites join with Moshe, and now we're looking. Now I'm looking for somebody. Now I'm looking for something. Oh, it's you. You were the one that influenced and probably came to Haron and influenced him to do this and pressured him. I'm taking you out. And the reason the rest of y'all got taken out is because we have this thing in Israel about being guilty by association. When your brother is doing something wrong and you shut your mouth and don't bring it to their attention, you take on the accountability and that comes with it. So since all of y'all decided that y'all didn't want to reprimand your brother, instead of going to Moshe, or at least going to Aharon, I'm going to take all of y'all out. I'm just going to take you out later. I'm going to take out the main group first. That's why the 3,000. Because there should have been more. They should have been executing people left and right. But there's got to be a reason. Moray told me one time, and I'll never forget it. And it comes, I believe, from his father, grandfather. If you work the problem according to the rule, you will get the answer every single time. And that is the problem with us being across the street. You don't apply anything to the text. So therefore, when you're taught it's been done away with, don't apply it. It has no value. When you get to stuff like this, you just read on. It's just a nice little story of vacation. United States, I experience people in the culture. Godless nation, a nation that has abandoned the Most High. Every single year we get worse and worse and worse and worse. And I can tell you why. It's because every time you can point to something where they've gone and removed the Most High out of it. That's why you have what you have today. Think about it. All the atrocities that happen is because the Most High has been removed from it. And this is what we say. Because this is a democracy. You don't understand anything about kingdomship. If you're in a kingdom, you don't have the ability to change any laws. You don't have any ability to have an addendum. You don't make any type of policy It is what it is, and it's authoritative, and that's it. Period. We don't have to have this, well, what did T.D. Jakes say? What did Philip Anthony Mitchell say? What did Steve Furtick say? What did Joel Olson say? What did any commentator say? I don't care. At the end of the day, what did the Most High say? And that's why we are here in Hebrew Israel and FTF, because we want to know the truth. I mean, I'm going to end it. Hopefully that hopefully got into why we're doing what we're doing. Ask the question why. Just ask the question why. It's got to make sense, and we got to put it together, okay? Now, next week, part 2, because I didn't finish 32 today. What was that? I got 7 more verses? Do you want me to just finish it? Okay, let me just finish it. I only got 7 verses. But you know, I'm like my moray. You know how long it takes me to get through 7 verses? We'll be here for another hour. That's not a dig. The 7th verses will be the dessert. Okay. 7. If you keep your behind on the porch, you'll be all right. You're up there preaching. Why don't you just read what's in the text? We good? This is what we do on the Shabbat. We ain't got to the best part of the Shabbat where we actually talk amongst ourselves. We got to get to that. I love this. All right. Where did I leave off? 29? Matter of fact, let's just go get 27. Let's read it again. It's going to be good to us. Now that we're reading it this way, now we have the backstory and kind of an understanding. In 27, it says, he told them, here is what Eye Asher Eye, the El of Israel, says. Do you know what he's talking about now? Yes. Okay. Each of you put his sword on his side. Go up and down the camp from gate to gate. And every man is to kill his own kinsman, his own friend, and his own neighbor. The sons of Levi did what Moshe said, and that day 3,000, only 3,000 of the people died. Moshe said, you have consecrated yourselves today to Eye Asher Eye. He's talking to the Levites. Because every one of you has been against his own son and against his own kinsman in order to bring a blessing on yourselves today. The next day, Moshe said to the people, you have committed a terrible sin. Now, I will go up to Eye Asher Eye. Here's that second intercession. Even after you got your butt kicked, I'm going to still go back and pray for you. Maybe I will be able to atone for your sins. This speaks to Moshe. He's willing to lay his life down for this group, knowing who they are. Moshe went back to Eye Asher Eye and said, please, these people have committed a terrible sin. This is almost verbatim what we need to be praying. I almost want to say that. Just read this. Shoot. Please, these people have committed a terrible sin. They have made themselves an El out of man. They have made themselves an El out of gold. Now, I will just, I can't get off that last part. Now, if you will just forgive their sin, but, now wait a minute. Is there a human sacrifice here? No. No. Okay. Atoning. Now, if you would just forgive their sins, but if you won't, then I beg you, blot me out of your book, which I don't like the word book. I like the word scroll, because when you actually do the research on this, books weren't invented at that time. They were on a scroll. So this is another issue what I have with this translation. Anyway, which you have written. Eye Asher Eye answered Moshe, those who have sinned against me are the ones I will blot out of my book. Now, go and lead the people to the place I told you about. My Malach, an angel, so the angel is going to be with them, will go ahead of you. Nevertheless, the time for punishment will come. And then I will punish them for their sins. I got that first 330,000 out the way. They still gonna pay. Okay? You ain't getting out of this. Okay? Eye struck the people with a plague because they had made the calf the one Aharon made. That's the last of chapter number 32. Questions, comments, fire hose. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add when we were talking about like making the golden calves and stuff, that we also have that error with some of our ancestors after this. One of the references you can go to Second Chronicles, chapter 11, and then you can read from 14 to 15. So basically, what happens is when Israel has the split, we have Slow-Mo, his son takes over, and then the Most High raised two adversaries against him. Yaravam is one of the adversaries, and he becomes king over Israel. And he's having a problem with Israel because the people that are with him, the Israel that's with him, and you know, Yehuda's with Yehuda, the people that are with him, they want to go to Jerusalem to keep the Most High's mitzvot. And he gets upset by that, and he doesn't want them to go. So I'll just read 14, and then it says, the Leviim left their pasture lands and property and came to Yehuda and Jerusalem, since Yeravam, who's the king of Israel, which he did what was wicked, and his sons had thrown them out, not allowing them to function as Kohanim for Yahweh, and had appointed for himself Kohanim for the high places and for the images of goat demons and calves that he had made. So I just wanted to point that out. That's a text that you can go and you can also see again where our ancestors, where he just reiterated the same mistake by making a calf, and he just does it again later on in history.
Later on, his
Yeah,
people
so I just want to point
with
that out.
excellent work, Moray. People that don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. Okay? Listen, I'm gonna pull this one page from Amanita Ross. Everybody know who Amanita Ross is? You don't know who Amanita Ross is? There's a movie about her called Harriet Tubman. That's what her name is, Amanita Ross. They give her this credit. Some sources on the internet don't give her this credit, but I'm gonna give it to her. Let this black woman have her flowers. I freed a lot of slaves in my day, but I could have freed a lot more had they known they were slaves. If you don't, we talk about it all the time. The conviction is not going to come unless you actually own up to an issue that's actually there. If you continue, and I'm speaking to everybody that's vacillating between two opinions that's online, we've gone through forensically this particular text and asked the questions why, okay? You got to be able to get to the point and understand that there's something that's wrong. If you never recognize that anything is wrong, you're going to continue to keep walking the way that you are. Challenge your leaders for a reasonable answer. If they just come back and say, just believe me, with no receipts, or invoke some type of doctrinal policy by that particular denomination, and it's not standing on the word of the Most High, you got some research to do, okay? Seek answers. And sometimes the counsel that you under is not wise. Let's just say that, too, while we're there. But, again, ask the questions. Be what they call a good Berean. Is that what they say across the street? Yeah. Research the matter. It's okay to ask. And hopefully we've set an environment in this place where you can come, comment, ask questions, get all of your issues, maybe not at that particular time squared away, but we're going to walk you in the ways of the Most High the best way we can. Stand to your feet. Let me go ahead and bless you so we can enjoy the rest of this Shabbat. My. We okay? We okay? I'm looking over here at my brother Charles. You always laughing at me. See, I'm drinking from the fire hose again, all this information. Y'all like me sitting down better or standing up? You like me standing up? You like me move? Okay, I'm going to move around next time. Like both? If I sit down and I'm going to start going into what my moray does, then I'm going to be like, that's his thing. He's a dignitary. Let me bless you. In Bad Midbar, chapters number 6 through 24 through 26. Bad Midbar, chapter number 6, verse 24 through 26. Reads in the Hebrew. Yivareka Yahweh, Vayishmareka. Ya'er Yahweh panav eleka vihuneka yesag Yahweh panav eleka v'yasam laka shalom. It just simply means in the English, may Yahweh bless you. May Yahweh, what? Make his face to shine on you and show you his favor. May Yahweh lift up his face toward you and give you shalom. Hebrews in exile, West Coast Hebrews, until next time, shalom. Excellent.
Maurice